Thank you.
Tom, you're next.
Thank you.
Sean, there's a
Oh,
flag.
okay.
Mel, I'm in a spot. Go ahead.
Just to comment on this one, I always look for the blessings in everything. Why don't you consider your experience as a inspiration to solve these kinds of problems? So don't feel too bad.
We always appreciate your input.
Yes, but can you add some sort of a quantity on that
No.
appreciation?
No, just a statement. Go ahead.
Okay, just, the bad news was I had typed up a whole page. The good news is I'm just going to brush this out.
I think it's on.
Did somebody close my microphone?
You might be switching on top.
Oh, really? I'm using up my time.
Yes,
Hello. Yes, I am. Hello there. Okay, couple of meetings before, I brought up the subject about at least extending your research on the volunteer drivers to professional companies and see how that compares. I'm still worried, a lot worried.
What's the topic?
Oh, people that are willing to drive senior citizens.
You're talking about the aging in place discussion about.
Yes, yes, if you could kindly do a little research on professional companies that are qualified, and also maybe a little more investigation on liability. Perhaps the whole village would be liable for certain things, and we have to be very careful.
Understood.
Okay. Good, okay. The other thing is, no, see, I got so excited. Okay, I'm almost done. I'm in
Your minute's ticking away.
I got 1 minute 40 seconds. Okay. So anyway, could you just tell me, or anybody that you want to tell, what is the disposition at this moment? Where does that $1 million rest?
It's in the bank.
In the bank? Is it in a budget? Do you intend to put it in the reserve account? Because based
That
on...
decision hasn't been made.
Yeah, I get that, but based upon today, it seems like it's very likely that we'll have big expenses next year. If that's the case, then the law allows you to place monies like that
The
in...
law allows us to keep it where it is or to use it for projects that are appropriate.
Yes, or it can go into the reserve budget, that's all permitted. So I just want to bring that up in a cooperative way. And then the final thing is, I'll save it for next time.
I would just add one comment for the aging in place group.
None of the mics are on.
You're all-
Yeah.
What happened to no, Andy, to turn it back off?
I guess our power just went out.
No, because the lights are on.
Start the
The
generator.
only thing I'll comment on in terms of aging in place, we haven't, the unfortunate part is every time they try to do something or provide a service, we come smack up against the legality of, well, who's taking what risk? And even the idea of providing equipment, walkers or a wheelchair or something else, carries with it what happens if somebody gets hurt in the walker that they've loaned. So council, as I said, that's another one on the list. So I try and figure out how to handle that, and I'm sure we'll end up with disclaimers to the point of absurdity. But the reality is, in today's world, everything you do carries with it liability, and that's an ongoing concern. Mel, can you talk without a microphone?
We'll try. Thank you.
Thank you. Figure it out. Yell for the moment.
Okay, hi, I'm Mel Weinstein, 3567190.
I'm sorry, do you have, nothing yet?
No.
Well, at least it's on.
No, it's not. Ours.
The power is
Is that maybe plugged in down there?
No.
on.
14 people looking at us.
We would like to know how many people it takes to fix the microphone.
Only one more.
Andy!
We have Mel, go ahead. You're on, Mel, go
Okay,
ahead.
okay, no Weinstein, 3567190. I wanted to bring up the topic that was already brought up by Karen Schulman, and there's so many people I want to thank that are getting involved with this resource center benefit. When you come into this room next month, these carpets will be down and the room will be covered with beautiful art that's going to be for sale. Now, what's so amazing about this is, the week before, there's a benefit. The following week, there's a benefit. This is historic. The Pine Mountain Club to be getting involved in charities from outside places. Now, the Resource Center is one of my great loves, besides my dog and my wife.
In that order?
Them for about 5 years.
In that order?
Don't answer that, Mel.
Anyway, the reason I'm doing this is I've been on that board for years, and I see the wonderful work that they do. Now, what's so important about it is, the two reasons we're doing this is, first of all, to let people know about that the Resource Center is there. Because a lot of times people don't even know. People need help and don't know where to go. That's where you go. And what Ann, the director, says is, they do whatever anybody needs when they first come in for help. And if they don't have it directly, they can usually refer you to a place that has it. The other part of this is that this is all done by donations. Now, we've already got commitment to artists that they're going to be donating work. We did this at the art gallery, at one of the owners of the Artworks Gallery. And last year, the first night, we raised $4,500 for them. We hope to do even better here. And because what's wonderful is that it's going to be on a Saturday night when the clubhouse hopefully will be filled with people that are nice and drunk and have a lot of money they want to spend. And they're going to be buying Rembrandts and Picassos. So what's so important is that this place is there. And a lot of times you think about, I don't need them, but you never know what your life is going to turn into. And we had two artists last time that mentioned that without them, they could not have survived. And the beauty is that within a week of when this money, 100% of the proceeds are going to the Resource Center. And this is like an emergency fund for them. So what was wonderful last time is within a couple of days, an elderly man with cancer couldn't pay his electric bill. They could help him. They cover every range of charity that you can imagine. So it's just so important to me and to the community that this place stay around, especially now with the medical center being in jeopardy, which is vital that we say that as well. Okay, if you have a pencil, and I want to thank so much, I want to thank Bill for doing this, and Karen for doing this, and also wonderfully, I want to thank the Enterprise for the articles that they've written about this important event. My phone number is in the paper, and Ms. Mel Weinstein, my phone number is 310-829-6868. If you have art you want to donate, or you know anybody that has art that they want to donate, it's tax deductible. Whatever sells, whatever the amount is that it sells for, is 100% tax deductible. So please be generous. This is a wonderful opportunity. Keep a wonderful place in business, not that they're in business, but they're in the business of helping people. So if you want to be part of this wonderful event, please be generous.
Thank you, Mel.
Thank you.
Should also mention that the center meets clients here, which is it Tuesdays? Tuesday by appointment, and they meet in the water company's boardroom. So not only are they helping them out, they're specifically making office hours available here for our members.
If I could add something, the reason that they could do that is from the money we raised last year. We gave them enough money that they could do that up here. If we can't get down to them, they will come to you. And everything they do is really for the love of people that they want to help.
Okay, thank you, Mel.
Well, good afternoon. Alan Pemmican, lot number 256-7302, 001, speaking as an individual. First, let me preface things by saying my words today definitely not meant as any criticism, as I support this board, in fact, one literally. Think it more as a plea to refocus. I'd first like to thank Mr. Bennett and the task force for their hard work in developing plans. For what they've done, I have no reservations at all that they can proceed forward and get us a good building. Now, there's those who have said that we've been remiss in our communication skills. I would certainly like to take issue with that. When one first enters the building downstairs, they're met with signs that say, no cell phones, no bathing suits allowed, must wear cover-ups. Upon going downstairs, one sees a sign, no patio service, order food, take it outside. No one except employees allowed in the kitchen. And once again, no cell phones. Upon coming back up to the bar, we see no one under 21 allowed after 9 p.m. No one allowed behind the bar. And once again, you guessed it, no cell phones. And here we are standing here in front of Chairman Gertner, no cell phones. So you can plainly see that we have done an excellent job of communicating what it is that we can't do. But it doesn't stop there. If a morning cook is off for a couple of days, there's no serving breakfast. If an evening cook is off, there's no dinners for 3 weeks. And now, at the Concerts of the Greens, we're contracting out the cooking of hamburgers to a local restaurant. So apparently, we have also become pretty good at communicating what it is we can't do, also by our actions. Now, the task force has made extensive recommendations on how this building and food service might be improved. It's been my experience that when task force recommendations are prepared, a decision is made and you move forward. I must admit, I'm a little bit perplexed at how we seem to have adopted a mentality that we must prove failure of one recommendation before we move on to the next, only to fail again. I'm glad to see that a resolution to proceed with engineering was added to today's agenda. However, based on recent performance, I must admit, I'm a bit uncertain as to whether we can provide an acceptable level of service that our members both deserve and pay for. So once again, I hope the efforts of the task force do not prove to be in vain. We're at a critical point right now, with the exception of a few who seem to be putting their personal preferences above that of the membership as a whole. Momentum is on the upswing. You've seen that today. It is important that we sit there and move forward. It's a time we can begin striving for successes in place of accepting failures. In short, don't let your legacy be known for what it is that we can't do, but let it be for what you did. To sum it up and to borrow a line, let's make PMC great again.
I might argue with the quote, but other than that. Sean?
Raymond, you got your
Card. Raymond, you forgot your membership card. Somebody did.
I didn't want you to forget me.
I won't forget you. Well, couple things, obviously.
Reintroduce
Everybody.
yourself, just for the record.
Oh, Sean Coulter. As everybody knows, or about to know, this evening I am doing a stargazing night. I have Scott Rosen coming. I have a big screen that I'm going to be putting on my motorhomes, a 20-foot screen. He'll be projecting those images, images that he's actually given over to NASA as well, so he'll be speaking. I have 2 amateur astronomers that'll be there. I have approximately 4 or 5 telescopes that'll be there as well. Plus, I have also purchased a telescope to give to one lucky student. So I will be doing that. It's a computerized Meade telescope. Very simple to use, just point and click and they can see the stars. So I'm really encouraging not only to have you guys come out and enjoy the evening, but if we can get more people in the basketball area to turn off their lights and get more of a darker sky for us, or if you have a neighbor that's in the area, if you can ask them to turn off their lights, it would be great benefit to all. Now, the other thing that I'm concerned
What's the
about-
time and location?
It's about 8 o'clock, at the basketball court.
Thank you.
Just right there at the basketball court. I've spoken to the fire department, they're gonna take care of turning off their lights. So we do still have a little bit of light pollution, but if we can take care of that, it'd be awesome. Raymond came up and discussed about a problem he had when it came to filming. As many of you know, I've been in the film industry for approximately 45 years as a union member. And I know that I was one of the members who was working on the guest book when it was up here 2 seasons ago. I was also on it when we were in the area. Anyways, we have contracts that we sign. Every neighbor has to sign a waiver for them to film in that area. Okay, it's not just, oh, we're gonna come here and we're gonna take over the place. It doesn't happen that way. We also have a special account to help people who are in direct conflict. And so they do get fees. We do rent other people's property for catering and things of that nature. But most importantly, we also have a fire marshal with us and we have an officer with us all the time. So I don't know what's going on at your area, but let me tell you something. I've never known a production company not to have that, even the lower end companies. Next, the board can't automatically say, for you to have a permit, you must have, and you give them the lines. 9 o'clock is the curfew, 10 o'clock, whatever the curfew is, they hold, it's a hard line. And the sheriff's department must adhere to that unless they get approval to go along. Next, the board can't easily say, if you're gonna film up here, you must have a fire marshal. I don't care if you're union, non-union, it doesn't matter. These are things that the board can do. And every person who is in that little area can get some fee for one reason or another. Or they can say, look, you're next door to me, why don't you put me up in a hotel for the evening if you're gonna go past that time? They can do that, and they will do that. That's all I see.
Thank you, Sean.
Sean, can you bring us a copy of a sample contract like that?
Oh, absolutely.
Our contracts reflect that.
It does reflect that.
The issue of where we negotiate a contract is not a problem. We do have independents that show up that we don't know anything about, and that's where our problem is. And
They still have to get a
I
permit.
understand that we may not even know they're coming until there's a problem.
Well, those companies can be easily closed down. They got to close down immediately.
We don't do 2 times. So
I was just wondering if there's any possibility to respond to that, just for a second.
Well, do it quickly because we really are running out of time. Go ahead.
I just want to say that what he described has never happened at any of the productions at my place. There's never been a fire marshal, there's never been an officer, nobody has ever come to me and said they're going to be shooting. There's
No location managers ever come to you,
approvals.
ever.
Never, no neighbor approvals, ever.
He's
We
probably got
will-
plenty to
We will
talk.
pursue this, but the reality is our contracts are good.
Yeah.
Thank
Please,
you.
if you can, we'd like to move along, so make your comments brief if possible.
I know that's how it works in LA.
Hi, I'm Philip Gabriel, and my lot number is 3508-386-001. My comment is more a suggestion that we have quarterly meetings with the community, we call them fire chat, and call them whatever you want to call them. And at the meetings, we do like an ice cream social, one quarter, maybe a pizza social, another one, taco social, just to get people talking, get people in the same room. I use this when I coach baseball. I was in charge of the West LA softball, and we played the Beverly Hills softball. And I realized the girls on the team didn't like each other, the parents didn't like each other. They got together with a coach. I said, after the season, let's have a big giant party where all the girls and all the parents mingle. And lo and behold, everyone became friends. Because we had to deal with each other for the next 10 years in club soccer, club softball. So they were going to be exposed to each other, so they might as well try and be friends. And it worked really well. I'm thinking if quarterly, if we could have, and hopefully the board members can come, we can't force you to come, but I'd love for a few members to try and come and listen to what's being said. And I think part of the problem up here, some of the rancor, some of the discord, is because we don't really talk. People yell at each other, they say these inflammatory things on Facebook, but no one really talks face to face. Let's quarterly have meetings up here, social functions up here, and I love what you do with the stargazing. Remember you went exactly there. That's a great example of a way for people to socialize. The art sale is a great way for people to socialize. There's plenty of opportunities. And I think if you had it up here, an ice cream social, where you can make Sundays for people and people to sit around and talk and get their opinions out, and I think it'd be a great way for people to finally start talking up here instead of just going on Facebook and yelling at each other and calling each other names. So I'd like to consider, so it costs money, probably $200 or $300 each time to buy the ice cream, buy the pizza, buy the taco. So I think it'd be worth it if you have a $1,000 budget for the year to put together these functions for the community.
Thank you very much. I will note that as of last night, there's now ice cream in the bistro.
Hi. Lee Donovan, 3567-112-112. I have concerns about the dog issues that are happening in the community. I think we all, I'm not a dog owner right now, but I will be, and I think people need to consider being responsible pet owners and not letting their dogs get free, because there's been some issues with my neighborhood walking around. I just wanted to put that out there. I saw something I want to clarify about the wildlife. If you see injured wildlife or their bodies on the road, that we can't call patrol anymore, or do you call animal control?
If there's a dead animal on Mill Potrero Highway, and if our people go out and remove it, and they have S-turns, a car could come around and hit one of our people, and I don't think any of you would like to have that. So we need to call Kern County, because that's their road and they have to come out. I'm not saying that our people don't go out and don't tell me about it, because they do. But if they come to me and say, can I? I'm going to say, no, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, but patrol can call the county.
That's what I was going to see, if you can call patrol and they can call.
And they do, but they're not as responsive as we would like them to be, but they are called.
I mean, animal control isn't.
Right.
But yes, if you call patrol, patrol will call
Okay.
animal.
All right, and then one thing is, I do like eating in the corner cafe on the weekends when it's quieter. Just let you know. So no one, I just want to clarify, at least one. I'm sorry. I do like.
We are nothing if not unanimous at all. So everybody's entitled to theirs, and we have 5 for every 10 people. So
Okay. Thank you.
appreciate it. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, I'm Terry Becker, track 350-7325. I noticed on social media as well as today, not directly from another member, that there's some questions about Airbnb, VRBO, renting out your place. And I specifically asked what, before I purchased, or even considered purchasing here in Pine Mountain Club, my property. So since I heard somebody else being invited to share information, would you like to take my name down and my phone number I'm more than happy to provide you with information, because before I put my house on, I do stay on my property. I do stay in the house rules, the curfew with a fee. Once they confirm a reservation, they will get a fee from me if there is a complaint from the patrol. They will get a fee from me because my house
You
is
mean a
listed.
fine, basically.
A fee from me. You guys can find them, but I can feed them in Airbnb. I feed them and I stay.
Well, you need to charge them.
That's a fee,
All
yes
right.
sir.
Yeah, that's right.
Non-smoking on my property is a $100 fine. If they have a legitimate addiction or medical release, then I want to see it before they light up on my property. You do have things in place that work with that contract. I've been in property management and I understand there are property managers that have had multiple places. And I think that's where we're losing the cottage or the one-on-one relationship that can benefit us. I say that because when I take out the garbage, and many people offer to take it to the transfer site themselves because they have been here, and they say, oh, we'll take it for you, we know right where it is. They are not coming to the clubhouse, they are actually using food to go or there in our PMC business site. So I want you to remember that, and please take down my name and phone number. If you decide to have more information, I am more than happy
Well,
to
we'd be
provide
happy
it.
to receive it. If you have a sample of the contract you use, I'd love for you to give
Yes, I
it to the
listed,
office.
I give them directions, I'm adding pictures, so there's no more overturns. And here is, and for the bear thing, Vicki has really taught me, I meet them, and you can walk in today, there's a spray mist of ammonia. If we set the criteria, the standards are met. If we don't do anything, you know what happens.
Yeah, please provide us with your, if you can, with all your, just give it to the office. You can give it to Grace or to
Okay,
Karen.
thank you.
Thank you very much. Last one.
Alicia Canton, 3507 130, 001, 3 points. One of the points is about the recall. You said that you guys are going to come up as a slate.
That's correct.
And then,
It'll
so
be a
it will
vote
be,
for the 3 people.
so there will be like two kind of votes. One is yes or no for the recall, and then the second one will be for the candidate.
Correct.
Okay. My question to you, this is related to having to end your mandate. Am I correct?
I didn't understand.
It means that it will be a vote for the moment of the vote to next June.
That's correct. Maybe, I think what you said is, when is it, it's effective immediately.
Yes.
If there is a positive recall, the 3 of us are immediately removed, and whoever are the top 3 vote getters on the ballot side will take those positions. That happens immediately and is in effect until the June meeting, no longer.
Of next
Strictly
meeting.
for those months.
So those candidates will have to run, if they want to run, they have to run again.
They'd have to run again, that's
Okay.
correct.
All right. The second question for me is if you are part or initiated in any shape or form the complaint for embezzlement that was filed in August 6th.
Well, the answer is no,
Okay.
and we cannot go into detail because the sheriff is still under investigation. But there is absolutely no suggestion that any board member, not just me, but any board member is implicated in that.
No. I just want to know if you guys were aware and if you
Oh,
were the
yes.
parts
But
that
if you were-
initiated the complaint.
We the part. We notified the sheriff of our concern. We identified the activity and have shared that with the sheriff. The sheriff has begun an investigation.
So, okay, that's great news. Okay. And the third is a sad quote, but I'm going to use it anyway. Related to this, the issue of the task force and the new planning and previous divisions in the community. The quote, "Let's America make America great again" is actually a divisive quote, and I'd rather have the Governor Cuomo said it wasn't that great before. The question for me is, it doesn't matter for the decent boys to be, instead of being separated, because that basically caused the recall, to be included. And the task force has done a great job, at least for number time, and I actually congratulate those numbers. A number that the community can come together instead of continue being divisive.
Thank you very much. Vicki, if you take more than 30 seconds, I'm not going to motion.
Really quick, bears, I would ask the board to make a recommendation limiting the amount of water that people are allowed to keep on their properties, especially people who know that the bears are drinking it. The biggest incident we've had this week, a man hit a bear with a baseball bat. This happened Friday. I don't know the condition of the bear. I don't know which bear it is.
What's the condition of the man with the bat?
Who cares? He unfortunately is okay. He had no issue as far as, threatening to its life or anything. We also had an air conditioner unit. A realtor in her vacation home has a portable air conditioner unit. She put the space saver in the window. It locks into place. It has a hole to put the exhaust through it. And the bear ripped the space saver out, entered the house, and dined on food inside the kitchen. This also happened at a house on Woodland. The bear walked up to the window. It's actually on video, and I asked the man what's at that window, and he told me he had a portable air conditioner unit with the whole thing. So be aware that if you leave your house, you should take that space saver out, shut the window, lock it, and make sure that you have all of your doors and windows secure. We've had 6 bears in houses in the last 35 hours. All of them were open sliders, open windows, and it just, no matter how many times I tell people, it just keeps happening. We also have 3 injured bears. I went over everybody's head yesterday morning because of the injuries on the bears. Yesterday I got a bear surgeon, I have a surgical suite, I have a unit to hold the bears waiting. I'm waiting for the higher-ups of California Fish and Wildlife to approve, hopefully taking any viable animal that can be repaired and fixing the injuries on the bears. That includes the 8-month-old cub that's dragging his leg trying to keep up with another bear. It's coy. I think lots of neighbors heard it. It was a big deal the other night, and it was hard to get the bears back together because of